Hey there, friend, and welcome back to part 8E, where we're covering word by word, step by step, chord by chord through Ted Greene's chord chemistry. And we're talking in this chapter, part 8E, it's actually chapter 7, which is essential chords and synonyms. So that's what we're talking about today. We're picking up where we left off. If you don't have the book, we're on page 15 today. If you don't have the book and you'd like to follow along in your own spare time and self-study, the link is right here in the card or in the description. And here's the cover that I have right here. And if you do order it, it's a different color too, so it's got some oranges and blues. I want you to know that it's been confirmed that it's exactly the same book that we're going through here today. We're page 15. We're starting with the dominant family. We're starting with A7, 6. You know, if you wanted to add a 6 in there, well, we're going to talk about that. But you can actually transpose this to any key, right? All of these chords are easily transposed to, like, let's say, for example, B6. Okay, so the A6 that we're talking about right here, right now, though, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today. It's hard to display. I don't want to go on and on like an idiot about it, but I really am happy that I'm very pleased that we're still here together. So we have the root. I'm going to talk about all of those circled tones in a minute, but we have the dark circles are the root, flat, 7, and 3, and that's what we need. That's all we need, the root, and then the guide tones, you know, the 3, and then the 7, or the tritone in this case, to formulate, a dominant 7 sound on the guitar, right? And that's all we need. It works, you know? And if you want to, you can even omit the bass note, in the case that you have a bass player hired for the gig for the day. Cool, so all of the other tones that we're looking at, we have the root, we have the 5 that we can add if we want. Don't need it, but it does add a nice flavor, flavor-de-flav, and then the 5 could be doubled. We can add the 6 on the top of that with 4th finger, or go up to double the flatted 7 on the top, and then we could grab that's a high E on root note, or that, put the 3 on the top. We've got all kinds of options on that 7 with the 6 added, right? So the 7 with the 9 chord, we're going to look at it, and we could do the same thing here. What we're adding the 9 on the top from fret position 5, but now we're on position 7, so that places the 3rd of the chord in the bass. Then we jump up to the root, and then the 5, and then the flat 7. And if you want, you can use that circled tone and add the 9 on the top. And then I'm just trying to be mindful of the tone I'm generating here. I just want to make sure that we've got a nice balanced tone. And then we have an A7 on position number 10. Let's take a look at that. So we have the 10, we have the 12 and 12. The 2 circled tones, again, are optional, but flavorful. So there's the 5, the 1, and then we have the 3, flat, 7, and 1. So here's a rootless voicing with the 3, flat, 7, and 1. You can place the 5 on the top if you want. You could also use the root note or the 5 note at the bottom in the bass. I am going to leave that up to you to discover on your own. I'm going to only pretty much mostly talk about the darkened tones, and if you wanted to explore the circle tones on your own, I really have to encourage you to do that, because this is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where we find ourselves. We find ourselves in the details once we spend. You hear about people walking in the wilderness and hiking, and general mountaineers getting out there, and you don't tend to start shedding civilization until after day 3. You start to realize, all of that stuff is peeling away, and I'm finding myself in a new space. So that, I don't know how many days it takes as a guitar player to just woodshed to find your new self, but I know it's a possibility. And I know once you attenuate yourself to finding it, you can find it more quickly. So we're on position number 2 for the A7, the next one. We have the flat 7 in the bass, the 5, the root, and then the 3. All of these voicings have been commented on throughout this series, and I expect nothing less from these high quality, experiences, and you have something to say, and definitely share them in the comments. You know, share us your joys, your sorrows, your critiques, your achievements, and your constructive criticisms and all that stuff. It's definitely welcome. And we have the A7 with a 6, position 2. Still, we have the root jump on up to the flat 7, and then the root, and then the 2 or the 3. I'm sorry. Then the 6. I'm talking chord tones. I'm labeling chord tones: root, flat 7, root 3, and then 6. And some of our viewers here, some of our friends here, have actually taken the book and written the chord tones around each note so that they can we can start memorizing those. I haven't done that with mine, but I've spent a lot of time identifying these notes over the years, and it's getting easier and easier for me all the time. But a cool idea. So 9th position, we have a 9. What is that? So that's going to be in relation to the A7 9. We have the 3, flat 7. We have also a root note that we could play. We have a 9 here conveniently placed. Really great sounding voicing. And if you were to do that, you know, without that root note double or presented, I guess it has a 3, flat 7, 9, and then I guess the 1 is presented there under the 4th finger. Right, and if you wanted to, you could really just have some, I think this is a really reasonable way to play that voicing. But we'd have to go back and say A is the bass note in order to really hear the whole thing. Yeah, and appreciate it for what it is. Beautiful chord sounds. A7, this is just straight up fret 11. And then we're using the 5th, the root note, the 3, and then the flat 7. I'm going to really have to work to shingle my fat fingers on those frets because, you know, it is what it is. I could use that 2nd finger, and I would encourage you to be aware of that option so you can use your 4th finger elsewhere. A7 on position 2, let's take a look at that. So 2, we're going to run on up to fret number 4, which is the 3, the flat 7, the 1 on the G string, and then the 5 on the, let's see, the B string on fret 5. And then if you wanted to, you can double the root note up there on the top. Position 9, we have a flat 7. This is one of my favorite ways to play the A7 chord. It's kind of like that. It's that, you know, that's that A7 with the flatted 7 in the bass. So a flat 7, 3, 5, and then root note on the top. And then we have the A7 on position 10, which is kind of a cool little voicing. That's what is that? Flat 7 again, but 3. And then we're jumping up to the root note. So we have flat 7. We're skipping over the G string. You'll notice here. We have the root note and then the 5 on the top. Really cool voicing, especially with that A note in the bass. Next one is A7. We have the flat 9s coming up here a little bit. So we got some dark flavors coming here. So we have, you can see you can see on the side here, typically we're used to seeing the position indicator on the side of the chord chart. Here we have 2, what is this business? 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, and 17. Well, A7 flat 9 is the same chord on each one of those positions. So for example, if I play this shape, A7 flat 9, I have a flat 7 on position 2 first. Firstly, I have a flat 7, a 5, a flat 9, a 3. On position 5, I have a flat 9, a flat 7, a 3, a 5. Position 8, I have a 3, flat 9, 5, flat 7. Position 11, I have a 5, 3, flat 7, flat 9. Position 14, I have a flat 7, where this is where we started from, right? And then we just continue on here after that. So, cool idea. why don't we create some harmony where we can use the same shape and parallel playing it across the neck every 3 frets and have it be the same chord. That's the diminished sequence right there, friends. So really cool stuff. We have a similar situation that we found ourselves in here on position 3. We have the 3, flat 7, flat 9, and 5. And then we're using every 3 frets. I'm going to walk us through it just to say we did it today, okay? We have the 3, 3, flat 7, flat 9, and 5. Position 6, we're going to have the 5, flat 9, 3, and flat 7. Position 9, we're going to have the flat 7, 3, 5, and flat 9. Position 12, we have the, what is that, flat 9, 3, flat 7, and 3. Wait, flat, what is this? Hold on a second. We have the flat 9, 5, flat 7, and 3. Okay, I said I missed. And then we've got all those other 3 frets that we can use as repetitions. Okay, so position 3 again, we've got another shape that's recommended to us. We have this, we could use flat 7 underneath there, but we're going to start with, you'll see that there are those 2 optional notes, the circle tones, but we have the 3, then we have the flat 9, and then we have the 5, and then the flat 7. It's just an amazing thing. It's just such an amazing concept that we can find things like that in the diminished and augmented sequences on the guitar and in music in general. Just supremely helpful. A little challenging to get used to working with, but we can do it. But for now, we're just focusing on those chords. A7 flat 9 is a 5 position. We have this really cool, we're jumping, and you could use a thumb there if you want, or you can use, 4 fingers on your right hand, but it's a big fat chord, We've got this really nice root note, flat 7, 3, 5, flat 9. Yeah, beautiful stuff. A7 flat 9 is going to be position 11. Let's try this. This is also A7 with just straight up sort of like 1, 3, flat 7 voicing with a flat 9 on the top. And then if you want, you can throw that flat 5 on the top. It's a little challenging for my fingers. I don't do this kind of voicing often, but if you're in Ted Greene's world and you're looking to do these chords, these monster chord solos you can find on his website, these chords are really important to remember, practice these, and then just kind of do the old muscle memory, shake it out, because once you get the grip going, you've got that large muscle memory, the large motor moving, and then you have that small motors moving on, the small motors moving on each finger. Each finger can then, release and then find its destination simultaneous to the all others. And that's how you know when you can just get back to the grip. That's how you know it, right? A7 sharp 9. Now this is like Mr. Purple Haze right here. So fret 11, position 11, not fret 11. We're going to use the old root 3. I'm going to slow down here just for a second because this is just such a wildly popularized chord for the guitar from, just a handful of guitar players. Some sort of genius gurus, rock gurus changed the world forever with this chord, So we have the root, the 3, the flat 7, and the flat 9. No, I'm sorry. It's not flat 9, is it? Sharp 9. You know what? I was just making sure you were paying attention. The next A7 sharp 9 is the 5, 5th position. We have a 5, a 3. So I'm going to use the 5th position because I could use all of those optional chords. And if I can use them, that means I guess you could use them, in any combination you'd like. As long as there's a sharp 9 in there, but he's going to trim this up for us. We're going to use the 5, the 3, the flat 7, and the sharp 9. So we have a nice rootless voicing right here. A7 sharp 9 again. I'm not going to fool you with this flat 9 terminology again. So position 16, we've got that 3, And this is another, this is such a great gimme chord, you know what I mean? But if you don't know about it, you wouldn't, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So we have this 3, the flat 7, we have the flat 3 or sharp 9 in this case, but it's buried in the middle of the chord, and then the 5 on the top. And if you want, you can use the natural 9 on the top, or the sharp 9 again on the top. A little volume swell helps out quite a bit too, I've found. You know, work that volume knob and the tone knob. Don't forget about those things. They're also tools that we have at our disposal. So we have the 5th position, we're A7 augmented. A7 with the plus next to it. So we have the 1, the flat 7, the old 3, the old sharp 5, the old augmented 5, Mr. 5, Mr. Augie 5. We have another variation of that which we could play with those repeated tones or added tones with the circles, right? A7 augmented again, position 10. Let's take a look at this time with the 7th, the flatted 7th in the bass. Flat 7, 3, sharp 5, and then root. Okay. I'm getting out of hand here. I'm just so excited about these chords and revisiting these chords with you. So we're looking at this chord shape happens on positions 3 and 9. We're going to discuss why. Starting in position 3, we've got the flat, we've got a, we're using the A in the bass. We'll use the A in the bass. Then we have the old flatted 7, then the 3, and then the sharp 5, or the flatted 5 in this case. So no more augmented. Now we're talking about flatted 5. 7, dominant 7, flat 5 on position number 3. What if I use this on position number 9? So we have root, flat 7, 3, flat 5 here. Position 9, if I use the same shape, I have flat 5, 3, flat 7, then root. Now how far away are those from one another? I'm just going to guess a tritone. So we have 1 whole step, 2 whole steps, 3 whole steps. I guessed it, tritone. If you have any ideas about why that is, drop those in the comments because we're all just waiting for your answer. Okay. And position, same thing here, A7 flat 5, we're using position 2 and position 8, both again separated by a tritone. If you could do that math between 3 and 9 and 2 and 8, you'll find that it's 6. So we have that second position. We're going to reach way up there now. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4 frets from 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're using the sharp or the flatted 5 on the bass, flatted 7, root, and then 3. One of the rare beauties in this world right here. Just great stuff. And position 8. Let's see what happens when we just throw it up into position 8. We have a root of 3, a flat 5, yeah, sure enough, and a flat 7. I'll be darned. Yeah, it's math. And then A7 augmented, we're just going to jump back there again for a second. While we're in position 12, we're going to use the root, flat, sharp 5, flat 7, and 3. There we go. The sharp 5 is going to be on position 15. You could use the open 5 if you want. Natural 5. All right, A7 augmented again on position 2. We're using 3, flat 7, 1, and then flat 5. Augmented 5. I don't know what planet I'm on today, but 3, flat 7, 1, and sharp 5. 3, 7, 1, sharp 5. 3, flat 7, 1, flat 5. Different sounds, people. So we have a little bit different, you know, quite a bit different. Same chord scale, but different stuff going on there. A7 flat 5 again, 6 and 12 separated by 6. So we have position 6. We're going to use. Wow, so if I'm on position 6, I have the flatted 5 in the bass, the root, the 3, and then the flat 7. Oh, whole tone stuff. Wow, so you could actually move parallel playing that chord a whole tone at a time, and all of the notes in this chord are a whole step away from the other ones. So 12, we're doing the old root note, the flat 5, flat 7, and 3. And that's how we know we have an A7 flat 5. Friends, we're on position number 1 with flat 7, flat 5, and then root, and then 3. Ah, yeah, there's just something really lovable about this voicing, you know, the flat 7. A is the root note. Okay, you can see the potential unwrapping here. And that's again on, 1 and 7. So we have the position 7, we have the 3, the root, the flatted 5, and then the flatted 7. The A7 sharp 9 augmented is another, it's another beautiful, it's a rare beauty. 1 3 flat 7, sharp 9, sharp 5. When you want to get someone's hair is standing up on the ends, that's a good way to do it. The old knife in the light socket trick. The A7 sharp 9 sharp 5 in position number 5. This is going to look like this. Another one of my favorite voicings, and maybe one of yours. All right. So we have the root, flat 7, 3 flat, sharp 5, and then sharp 9 on the top. Oh yeah. Oh, there's that augmented minor major 9 shape. Don't do that. Okay, so position 16, we're way up here now. We're really asking for it. So A7 sharp 9 sharp 5 is another really great shape. It's got the 16, so we've got the root, we have the flat 7, we have the 9, the sharp 9, the raised 9th, we have the flat 7, and then we have that's 16, right? Hold on a second. The root note on the top, is that what we're doing? Wow. So we could think root note. Just a great sound. So 3, flat 7, sharp 9, flat 7. No. 3, flat 7. Let me reorient myself. So we have 3, flat 7, sharp 9, sharp 5, and root. There it is. A7 sharp 9 augmented again on position number 8. We're using the old A3, so we root 3, sharp 5, flat 7, sharp 9. Oh man, what a great sound. Come on now, just amazing stuff. You can't make that stuff up. It's been there from time immemorial, but just to sit down here with a guitar and realize these sounds and bring them to life, breathe life into them on our own time, it's just something. 5, so we have the root note, we have the flat 7, we have the 3, we have the sharp 5, and then the flat 9. A7 flat 9 augmented. We're going to do A7 flat 9 augmented again here with the root flat 3, the root 3, flat 7, flat 9, and then sharp 5. Good stuff. A7 flat 9, flat 5. We've got a ways to go here. So bookmark this video, you know, and then don't forget to come back to it because you can read all of these models, you know. So we have the 1, 3, flat 7, flat 9, flat 5. Just getting these in your ears and tonicizing them is important, you know. 1, position 4, the next one, A7, flat 9, flat 5. We have the root, flat 7, 3. What are we doing here? Root, flat 7, 3, flat 5, flat 9. You could use the second finger to get that if you want, but I'm going to use my thumb for this one, for this particular application, depending on where I'm coming from, where I'm going to. A7, flat 9, flat 5, again on position number 3. So we've got the root note, the flat 7. We've got the flat 9, we got the old flat 5, and then the flat. How are we going to finger this one? So we've got this, basically a diminished shape, which we just did. Now we're using the root, flat 7, flat 9, flat 5, flat 7 again. Kind of an interesting thing to double the flat 7, isn't it? Right here. But again, just a great sound. There's some wonderfully beautiful tension in there. We have an A7 sharp 9 flat 5 here in position 11. We could use the the root the 5th and the bass if you want with that circle, but we're starting with the root 3 flat 7 sharp 9 and then flat 5. Then we're moving to the old A9 augmented. So we're still in the dominant family here. So we're still going to continue on. We've got the root, flat 7, 3, augmented 5th, or sharp 5, and then the 9. Yeah, let it rain down, man. It's just, and then position 11, we have the root, A7, the A9 augmented. So we have the root 3, flat 7, 9, and then augmented 5th. Crunchy little sound. The A9 with the flat 5 is position 11, so we have the root, 3, flat 7, 9, and then it's a really crunchy little fingering there. A9 flat 5 is positions both 3 and 7. So the A9 is position 3, so we're going to use root note, flat 7. We're going to use the 9, the flat 5, and then the flat 7. On position 7, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like flat 5, 3, flat 7, and then root note, and then 3. This is kind of an interesting one. This is sort of reminiscent of the chord. We're getting closer to what's called the chord of nature, I think. So it's not quite the one, but if you know anything about the chord of nature, maybe you can enlighten us in the comments. Feel free to give us a little dissertation about that, and love to see it happen. There's a lot of talent that's watching these videos and hanging around and sort of like circumtangentially sort of like revisiting this series. So please offer your commentary and all of that stuff. We're all welcoming it. Okay, position 4, we're using, let's see, root note. Skipping over the 3rd, we're using you could use the 3, the flat 7, the 9, and then the flat 5 if you want, or sharp 11. Just a really great sound. A13, sharp 11 is in position 2. We're starting here. We're using the root note. We could use the root 3 and then the flatted 7, and then we have the flatted 7, the 9, the flat 5, or the sharp 11 in this case, and then the old 13 on the top. That's another really just Just a really beautiful voicing, you know. Here's another favorite. I'm thinking you're going to find this to be a favorite too. You know, you've got the nice A13 flat 9, so we have the root note in the bass potentially. In this case, we do. The flat 7, 3, flat, the 13, and then flat 9 on the top. All right. On position 2, we have the A13 flat 9. Again, another glorious sound, tension-oriented, so that we need to seek resolution, you know, sooner than later in the case of chord progression. So we have the root, the flat 7, the flat 9, the 3, and then the 13. Oh, man, you're killing me. It's just like... I've got to put some deoxit in my potentiometers here. So A13 flat 9, we've got the old 10. We've got the 3, so that's 10th position. That's the, what is that? 10th position. Come on now. Hold on a second. So why am I on 10 here? So we're using the flat 9 on the bass, and then the 3, no wait. Oh, the flat 7, sorry. Like I said, I'm not sure where my head's at today. Flat 7, we have the 3, the flat 9, and then the root, okay, the 13, and then the flat 9 on the top. So flat 7, 3, 13, flat 9 with the A note in the bass. Just a great sound. So just be aware, we've seen this chord shape before, and we're able to reuse it as another chord. Same shape, different spelling, because we're moving the root notes around. A13 flat 9 in position 11. We have the old 3, flat 7, the old flat 9, and the old 13 up top here. Oh yeah, just that 13, the old 13 flat 9 becomes a good friend real fast. So, and the other one that becomes a real friend is the diagonal pattern. Oh my gosh, like how do you get a better opportunity than that on the guitar? Oh yeah, boom. Oh, you can feel that just wanting to peel away and just kind of do some sort of major, you know, minor pentatonic rip right there. A13, sharp 9. So we're starting with a flat 7, the root, of course, flat 7, 3, 13, and sharp 9 on the top. Oh yeah, man. A augmented 11 with a 13 in it, you know, so wow, we're going to play a lot of notes here. Position 14, we're going for position 14, and I've got a 15 that I'm starting with the flat 7, the 3, the old 5's coming right up, so that's kind of cool, safe area still. So then we have the old 9 on the top, and then the sharp 11. Don't forget it's the old A note in the bass. Yep, good stuff. A augmented 11, position number 9. So that means we're using the 3, the flat 7. We could use the root note, the 11, and then the what is that, 9, and then the sharp 11, I guess. What is that? Hold on a second. We have the 3, flatted 7. Let me build this root note again. 11, and then the 9, and then sharp 11. Wow, what a beautiful, what a great chord shape. A11 is going to be position number 3. 5, flat 7. Another good one, you know, just the old rhythm and blues stuff, R&B. We get the root, flat 7, 9, 11. Good one, A11 again, coming right up. Position 5, root note, 5th. We're going to use the 5th, the flat 7, the 11. Oh, look at this. You get the old D chord on the top, the old D chord shape. So root, flat 7, 11, flat 7, and 9. All the fixings for a beautifully wonderful A11. A11 again. Let's see. Let's take a look at what's going on here. What are you asking us to do here, Mr. Greene? We've got a root note. We've got a 9. We've got basically like the G chord on the top. Another G chord, basically an inversion of the G chord that we know G can do this, right? The triad can do that all over the guitar neck. So we know that if we play an A note, Oops, so G on top of an A. That's kind of what he's saying here. Let's not limit ourselves because we just realized there's a G triad on top of an A note. And so we can invert that and kick it on up to the next inversion. But keep that A note in there because if you keep it a closed chord, then a closed position, then you can move it around as a bar shape, you know what I mean? Or a closed position chord. So A11 is also this. Yeah, I know. Pretty cool. Here's E11. I know, it's like really cool stuff. So 1, 4, 11, 9, and 5, if you want it. A13 sus, we got the old, same thing, but then we're going to throw the 13 on the top. Yeah, just good extended chords. A13 sus again, position 2. We've got the third finger, 4, 2, and then, oh, here we go, darn it. How are you doing? We did this in the first part. Were you here in part 1? We've already done this chord together, root, flat 7, 9, 11, and 13 on the top, where you kind of use that first finger to kind of lay over and grab 2 separate notes with one finger, 2 separate strings, 2 separate frets. Yeah, we're basically going to the moon here. Yeah, we're about to pop right out of the atmosphere. So A13 sus is position 16. We have the old 2, so 1, 4, flat, 7. We start right away with this quartal harmony. So 1, 4, flat, 7. Then we kick it back to the 9. And then we jump up to the 13. And then what's on the top? The root note if you want. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't play. Go ahead and find a nicer chord on the guitar, Jeez. A13 sus, let's kick it over to 5th position. We have the old, 11. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're starting with root 6. Root note, flat 7, 11, 13, 9. The good stuff. A7 sus. So now what we're using is the root, the flat 7, the 11, and then the flat 7 again. Kind of an interesting way to... It's kind of an interesting way to frame this chord because we're using the root flat 7, the 11, and the flat 7 again. Kind of an interesting shape for A. A7, 11 is going to be position 5 again, where we have the 11, we have the flat 7, the 3, and then the 5. You can put the root on the top or the bottom if you want, It's still legal to do that. All right, so we live in a world where we can go to fret 10 to anytime we want. 10 is the 11, 5, 11, 5. He's going to look at this. He's asking us to solve a finger problem here. So we use 11, root note, flat 7, 3. Is that it? So so the 11th is in the bass, root, flat 7, and the 3. Where's the flat 9? We could use the flat 9 here. Oh, the flat 9 is an optional note. Be sure to check out those optional tones in all of these important areas if I overlook them in the video here, but be sure to go ahead and do that on your own. And A7, 11, 13 is going to be 12. We have the root, 11, flat 7, 3. And if you want to pop that 13 on the top, go right ahead. A7 with 6 and 13, A7, 6 or 13 or whatever you call it, it's going to be position 10. And then we have a flat 7, right, because it's a dominant family still. We have the 3, the 6, or the 13, and then the root note. A7, 6 is going to be position 12. 1, flat, 7, 3, 6, pretty simple. Good one. Good to know. We can grab all of these anytime we want. A9, 13, position 5, root, flat 7, 3, 13. We can also do this thing where we just use the 9. But if you wanted to make that a 13, you can kind of, you know, the Atlantic rhythm section, you know, spooky chord or whatever. We got the old A9 13. Position 2. Oh yeah, I'm going to run back down to position 2 here. Grab that root, flat 7, 9, and 3, and then 13 on the top. Now this is a chord that shows up at the beginning of the book without the high E string on it. It's the last chord. It's a B9, I think. B add 9 without the flat 7 in it. And this time we're using it as an A with a 9 instead of a flat, you know, add 9. So we have the flat 7 on the top. We have the root, 5, 9, 3, and then flat 7. And in my opinion, on the guitar, man, that is a wonderfully, beautifully voiced voicing for the guitar. Just resonance is awesome for that particular shape. Just the distances and all of the intervals in between. It's a great tasting chord shape we can sink our teeth into. The 9 with the 13, position 4, we're using the 3, the flat 7, the 9, the 5, and then if you want to use the 13 there, you can, the root or the 9, right? All right, A13, we're coming up to the end of page 15, and I think this is a big deal for us because this is a deal maker coming up here, okay? 16th position, all right, I'll tell you about that deal maker here in a second. So we have the root, the 3, the flat 7, the 9, the 13, and then the root up top. We have the A9 13, position 12. Again, we're seeing this kind of stuff happening. What are we doing here? We've got the 12, we got 3, 5, flat 7, and then we have the 9 on the top. We could also add the 13 in the middle of the voicing though. 3 is in the bass, 13, root, and then 3. And then another 9-13 chord shape is going to be a really popular one. That's what I'm trying to do, is get that fourth finger to hammer on there. Root, 3 flat, 7, 9, 5, and then 13 on the top. Great guitar voicing. Wildly popular on the guitar. 6th position is going to be the A13. You know, this is really giving us a nice 4-fret spread. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm up to the flat 7 to start with, the 9, and then I'm going back to kicking it back to the 3 on the G string, and then the 13 on the top. Don't forget to keep that A note in perspective, the root note. Where is the root note in relationship to the bass note of the chord? We're starting with flat 7, 9, 3, and then 13. 3 more chords to go, people. And then we have the A7 augmented sharp 5, what is it? Does that say A major 7 augmented sharp 9? Let's take a quick look at this, okay? Position 12, we got an augmented 5th, we got a major 7, we got a, oh man, here we go. We got a major, a root note, an augmented 5th, a major 7, a 3. So here we go. We're entering into the realm of melodic minor harmony here. Oh yeah, and it's going to just kick us, launch us right off. And A, what is it? A augmented. So this triad is just, we're going to cover this now because we've got the 3, sharp 5, root note, and 3. And then, of course, you could use whole tones, but you basically play the same chord every 4 frets. So we have 3, sharp 5, root, and 3. And then let's go up to position 6. We have the sharp 5, root, 3, and sharp 5. 10, we're going up to position 10. We have the root, 3, sharp 5, root. And then we're going up to position 14, which is 3, where we started, 3, an octave higher than where we started. We have the 3, the 5, sharp 5, the root, and then the 3 again. Good stuff. Same thing happens here when we use the A augmented. In position 1, we have the sharp 5, an octave of the sharp 5, and then the, okay, so sharp 5, root, and 3. Sharp 5, root 3, root 3, sharp 5. All of the same notes, they're just jumbled around a little bit. And here's the most important chord of position of page 15, and that, my friend, right here is going to be the invisible chord, which we probably won't play. All right, so synonyms, let's just go ahead and read this out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to read this in a different lesson. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank you so much for being part of this beautiful culture that's generating itself around this series and celebrating the goodness of the guitar and how this deepening of our understanding is the equivalent of, it's a synonym of our deepening our own person. So I really appreciate you all being here. And I know I don't want to get too hokey or too esoteric. So I'm just going to leave it there and say thanks again. Like, share, subscribe, and share this stuff with friends if you can. And don't forget to keep practicing your guitar. And until we meet again, happy picking.